microphone turned down. Just want to make sure the microphone's working. Yeah, I don't hear it. I don't know why. Make sure it's plugged in. Yeah. Let me see. For some reason, I don't think my microphone's working. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I think I just have it turned down. There we go. Alrighty. I guess right now, possibly you'll be looking for longs if we stay above the 21 EMA here. Hopefully we can just find one trade today and be done with our most of our accounts. What's up, John Carter? Yeah, I feel like I'm on the struggle bus this morning, guys. Yeah, I just had the volume turned down on my, where I couldn't hear it. I say we're probably going to still stay on the old contracts, guys. We're probably not going to do a flip over today, so we're going to probably stay on the 25 contracts. Maybe the next couple days we'll flip over to the March. I was in a long position, and man, I just messed it up because I was trying something new. I was actually long from like 50s. I meant to enter with 2 contracts. I entered with 1. I was trying to add. So I was trying to take 1 off, leave the 1, then add to the second one. I was actually long from 56 as we broke back above this 21 EMA. I ended up just not taking crap out of it. That's okay. Hopefully it's not what's to come today. We're not going to be in a big hurry today if we can't find anything being rollover. If it's just an eval only day, it's an eval only day. So wouldn't mind seeing like a manipulation to the bottom side, like maybe back down to the 60s or even right below the 50s, then go back out the top. Then we can target those AM highs from Friday, which is a long ways up there. So So it'd be nice to stay under those 400s, and when the market opens, we can blast above 400s and can have like a nice whole number stop loss. I understand this is all wishful thinking, but that's just kind of what we'd like to see. what is it? I feel like if we get through these 400s, I mean, I just don't see anything that would hold us down once we get through this. I mean, it's just straight up to 500s here. Let's see. Might hit some resistance at 480, but maybe a little resistance at 410 there for a little pop back down. But man, it just feels like if we get in this area, there's just not really anything holding us down from 400 to 500. I mean, we just had this big sell-off here. A lot of times you're just filling in this big gap here. And I want to say, I don't even know if we filled in our opening gap from last Friday. No. So, I mean, dude, 470 is questionable for the next day or two, for us to move back up. I understand we're on a short leash here because it's rollover week. So next couple days we won't be on these contracts. Yeah, maybe kind of like do what Methodical Man did, just roll over tomorrow. Probably most of the all right, let's find. I don't think there's very much news today. So for news, if you're new here, I use investing.com for news. So just go to investing.com. And this is free. It doesn't cost anything. Go to economics calendar. And what you can do is just kind of stroll down to. But I think tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like we have non-farm payroll for tomorrow for November. So a lot of news tomorrow. We will flip contracts tomorrow. Like I said, today we are going to stay on the December contracts. So for just be aware that if you're flipping contracts today, because today is the, like I said, rollover day. So just be, I don't know. I just feel like today and tomorrow can be kind of a, what do you want to, what do you want to say? If we can get above these 400s, I feel like we get a really nice push all the way up to the 500s. We had that big sell off from Friday, and I just don't feel like there's a lot to hold us up. We left the opening week gap from a Friday opening gap from Friday, so we have a huge gap to the upside today. That's if we go long. That's what we're looking for. If we stay short, we will look to retake out the London lows and lows from Friday. Where's my mouse? Still getting my stuff set up over here. Got to fix my coffee. That's okay. Actually, I want to say we actually first entered this while ago from 56 and kind of wasn't sure if we were going to have that big pullback off the 400. And so we ended up closing the trade because we got above the 21 EMA there at the 50s and we kept finding support. And that was also the London highs from earlier. So. Good morning. Good morning, James. How are you doing today? Be careful if you're trading today. Like I said, it's rollover week. So we have some nice areas to the upside to look for if the long gets above. We can find support above 400 here. I feel like the longs, man, we could go all the way at least 100 points up to the 500s today. But it also could be chopped today because we have big movement overnight. It's rollover week, so the contracts are kind of divided between the new contracts of February and December. So that's another thing that could be a possibility this morning that you have to be aware of. So, but like we have been, we'll just take our time, be patient, wait for the setup. Good morning, Clarity. Clarity, are you rolling over your contracts or are you going to stay on the December contracts? Okay, James. What I'm using, James, is prop firms. Prop firms is a fairly easy way to start out trading if you're just starting out, James. You could start off with Bulanox like on Ninja or Trade of 8. I'm not sure about the Webbull or Weeble. Weeble? Yeah, Weeble. I'm not sure about Weeble with those prop firms. But I'm not saying you have to use your $50, but like if you had an extra like $15, you could start out, and it's like $15 a month if you kept that same account, and that'll pay for your data and everything. Either way, learning trading, you definitely will be spending money. It's just part of it. You're still long from the 25,600. How are you still? You're still long from that? You held that trade all weekend? Oh, wow. That's pretty wild. Well, man, today I'm hoping you get it back up there. I would really love to see that gap fill in all the way back up at the 600s, or, from that Friday gap fill in. I'm staying on December contracts today. We won't be flipping. So if you hop on here and your numbers don't look like mine, that means that we're still on December contracts. If we can get through these 400s, I don't see how we don't get the push. So a lot of support at the 400s, but man, if we can just get through these levels, I think we should get a nice push today. Yeah, that's why I kind of brought up the prop firms thing. So if you didn't want to spend your $50, like I said, you could go get started out for 15 and practice. I mean, either where you go, you have to usually pay for some type of data to get live data. And usually prop firms are the cheapest place to do that. Because right now, like you can get a Bulanox account for $15, and you don't even have to trade it. You just keep that $15 active, and when you're ready to trade it, you can, and you can practice for as long as you need. Or there's the another easy where I started out, which is pretty easy charts to kind of figure out. I use Ninja Trader, which there's a little bit more to Ninja. But if you use Trade is a super simple trading platform to use too. I mean, just straightforward. I actually am trading on some Trade accounts today with my Apex accounts because we're going to be copy trading today. Actually, I need to open this just in case I get stuck in a trade that I can close this. I kind of show you what Trade has got super, super simple charts. I mean, you're just pretty much buy, sell. I mean, pretty simple. They're pretty simple charts to figure out. If you're looking for something pretty, simple wise, we're going to leave these open. Just like I said, we're going to be trading some Trade accounts or copy trading at least 3 funded accounts today. No, I don't follow anybody with my trades. I don't follow like long-term investors. This is more or less day trading type stuff. So I'm trading what the market's doing right now. I don't really care what is going to happen with the market down the road or anything. That's more of a swing trading where you're holding trades for a long period of time. This here, I'm holding trades for either minutes, most of the time less than 10-15 minutes at the max. I used to not even hold that long just because, it just takes practice to get used to holding trades when you're doing this. But I'm trading the 5-minute candles now, so I always end up holding trades for at least 10 minutes most of the day, unless my 5-minute candle gets stopped out. Man, I'm really liking this play right here. Man, I feel like the bulls could pop it here. Like this looks like a nice little 3-flag bear flag here with the 5-minute charts. I mean bull flag. Well, let's see if this is I didn't look and see if this was the 50% of the move from Friday. Let's look at that real quick actually. So this is that move from Friday. So if you pull the fib on this whole move, so this possibly could be a big 50% pullback here, guys. So if this area holds, I think we continue up. So I think the 70 is the key here. If right here where I have this line here, you see that 50%? This is the fib from the whole move from Friday. And we already had the 50% pullback once. Look, over in the London session, it pulled back up. Or from, not London session, but in the PM session of the New York. So I'm pretty sure this is the New York high from Friday morning. Or Friday evening, I'm sorry. Most of my stuff is like either 5-minute breakouts, or I trade off a lot of just support levels, support and resistance. Still got 2 minutes. So I usually use the previous session highs and lows to find my targets that we're looking for. See what I mean? Like, man, are we gonna hope we don't hope we don't miss this trade. It's already kind of breaking. And that was a nice little bull flag there. So right now we're at the AM low from Friday. Is this the right contracts? I don't even know. Oh, I know why this looks so weird. That's the 15-minute chart. Yeah, so definitely a good possibility for us to push up to 624 this morning. But like I said, I try not to have a bias just until after the market. Wait for the market to kind of open first and see what it does. Because I trade what's going on at the moment. No, this is NQ Futures, James. Look at this crap. We already had the breakout. Man, I would have took this. Man, this is. Let's see if that was a. See, it already. Woo. Straight down here. We need to wait for this next 5-minute candle to print here. Because that thing just blew through that. Like I said, this could be a very choppy day today, guys. This is rollover week. The contracts are divided. There's several programs. If you're looking for an easier one, James, to start out on, Tradeovate's really easy. Or this is Ninja Trader, what I'm using. Ninja Trader is a little bit more difficult to set up. It's a lot more to the process because it's a Ripnik account. And so it's a little bit more difficult because you have to sign up at RTrader Pro, or first you sign up to whatever prop firm you want to use. Then you got to go to RTrader Pro and then over to this. I know you can find all that stuff online, but Tradeovate's a little bit more easier. You can just pretty much, they give you the username, pass in to log in, and you just log in straight into the account. As right now, I'm going to leave it on my eval because I know we're not going to be taking the trade on this next candle. Because your stop loss would have to be down here at the bottom of this candle, so that'd be way too big. So, like I was saying, if you're new to this, I would definitely not recommend trading this with like your real money or a funded account or eval only starting out till we get some kind of nice structure build up, because it's rollover week. So the next 2 days, yeah, wait a minute. I don't know too much about the Webull charts. Like I said, the next 2 days are going to be kind of iffy because the market you got to say our community is kind of split, because some people are still on the 25 contracts and the other have moved forward to the 26 contracts. Maybe. What we got left on this contract? We still got a minute left on this candle here. Woo, nice push here. Man, this is going to be like a freaking almost 100 point, 50.5 minute candle here. What do we still got? They got 30 seconds left on this candle. Man. I may try this with an eval, depending on if this where it holds up on this. Want to see the 20% here hold. If this air level don't hold, we may not. You want to see between the 50 and the 20 hold up here. If it starts selling through those levels, you want to not take this. So we're waiting for the reversal, and we're trying to get the smallest stop losses possible today. And this is eval only at the moment. I didn't like how big the candle was as far as the stop loss was going to have to be for a funded account. And if we do able to enter, our stop loss will be at the top of this candle here. So about 20 points with 2 micros. Most people that do this normally are self-taught. I'm not saying, I know there's some people out there that, you know, pay for courses and stuff. I never have. It just comes with experience, just doing it, you know, just repetitive, doing it over and over every day. So if it gets above that 50% mark, we pretty much will not take this. So let's see. You want it. That'll definitely be the line in the sand, that 70. That'll be the retest of the 15 minutes. I'm trying to keep my stop loss at 20 points. So this is why we're kind of following it up. And this way you can kind of determine what your stop loss needs to be by doing it. This is what I do sometimes if I'm not sure if we're going to go back down. And this way I know how much I'm going to be risking, because that'll be my risk here at the top. Because if it gets back above this 15 minutes here, more likely we're going back out the top side. Yeah. Looks like it wants to go back out the 15 minutes here, or 15-minute candle. And if that's the case, we'll just look. We'll have to wait for us to get back out of this zone and look for longs. So far, it's kind of holding. We just retested again. All right. We're going to go to break even. This way we can get a better position if it comes back. All right, first contract hit. So far looking good. I usually take it down here, but with this big of a candle and with this 50% pullback, you're looking at almost a freaking 40-point stop loss. And there was just no way I was going to have that big of a stop loss. So sometimes you just got to play it a little different. Like I said, it's all about risk management. So we knocked off a 20-point trade on the get-go. We still got a runner going that we're up 40 points. Where I'm thinking we may get stuck here, we're about to run into the VWAP here at 286. So I wish I could have taken this on my funded account, but the reason I didn't was, like I said, how big the stop loss was going to be. So you just have to trade at your own risk, how much money you're willing to risk per trade or how much you're willing to lose. All right, we're on a new candle. Like I said, the market's going to be kind of weird today, guys. It's rollover week, so. So our one contract still kind of sitting at break even here. 50%'s right there at the 30s. So really, you don't want it back above the 30s. That sounds good. Yeah, if you have any more questions, just put them in the Discord too. I'm not saying I check my Discord repeatedly, but I do look at it daily. So if you have a question, just put it in there and I'll try to answer it for you. All right, here comes the 20. I really don't want it at. It's looking pretty strong here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to get us here. Oof, look at the resistance. All right. Back above this wick is just going to stop us out for a 10-point stop loss on our runner. This way we can at least take something. Because what it is, we popped a 50% of this total move. And we still have some, to me, this stuff is still kind of weird looking. We're going to look for 10 more points too out of this if we can. Keep bouncing off that whole number. Remember, between 90 and 310, or between the 90 and 10 are usually the hardest areas to trade. Why did that go right there? Not really sure what happened there. I thought I had 2 contracts and I sold one. So this runner may get stopped out here. And we can always re-enter if we have to. Let's see. Where are we at? Well, I guess we're at 170. So, shit, I don't really need no more money. We just passed this. No, we didn't. Let me make sure that one gets past it first. It looks like my runner's about to get stopped. What the hell? Kind of a delay or something here. Because I hit the sell button, it didn't pop. Uh-oh. That's not good. shit. Oh, come on. Why is this shit doing this today? Shit. My goodness. I'm stuck in a damn trade. I can't even close it. Fudge. I wonder if I just buy 3, will it go off? Man, this could fucking A, dude. Damn it. That sucks, guys. That cost me $80 there for that shit to happen. I'm not even sure why. We're not even that busy. Son of a B. I was only like $15 away from passing. Now I got to make another 70. That knocked us back down to 920.37. That sucks. I was up about 170, 180 on this trade, but like I said, whatever just happened where I got stuck, and I knew it was happening because I hit the buy order up there around or sell order around the 90s, and nothing happened. Then I hit it twice. That's why it put me into 4 contracts like that. I may try to enter this on a sim account just to see. So this is going to be a sim count trade right here. So this is just me entering it just to see if everything's working. See, it entered fine there. Close fine. Man, what the fuck? All right. Just gonna have to be patient. So let me see where we are as far as our other charts go and see if we can find another entry here for this. I think if we can lose the 88s here, that would be the Asia high from Tokyo. So if we stay under the 88s, I think we get a push down to the 229s. You can use that 88 as your use that 88 as kind of like your stop loss. If we can, like I said, get below the 88 here, we should push. The next target down should be in the 20s. How much time we got? Fucking got a long time left on this candle. I may just try it now. Above 88, we'll close this trade because, like I said, 88's my line in the sand. Where you see this blue line, that's my line in the sand here. We're just in this 2 micros too. Like I said, back above 88, we'll close this trade. Let me make sure I get it lined out. Yeah. Another retest of that level. We're wanting 88 to be your level of support here. All right. First target hit. So looking kind of heavy. So hopefully we can get our profit back that we lost on that freaking contract a while ago. I'm going to keep a short, tight stop loss on this or go to break even just because I don't really want to lose any money. So I'd rather just either go or don't go. And I think that 22 should probably be your next target down. And that's what we're going to target. Now, if we lose the 20, or actually 30 is probably the safer bet, actually. 30, I'm going to go to 30 because, I mean, that's still a nice trade here. And I think that'll push me. No, are we going to be still short? Damn it. I think we're still going to be short. Oh, that 30 is the London low. So that's why we're targeting that London low. Son of a B, man. We hit right there at it. So that's what we were anticipating. Actually, 32 was the level. Where did it hit? No, it didn't get to 32. Come on. We can do it. We lose those 30s and 20s, it should be crazy downtown trade here. We lose the 22s. Damn it. Man, these rejections are insane today off these 5 minutes. Oh, come on. We're about to have a new 5-minute candle. Damn it. That's not good. Might get stopped out. I'll at least take some out of this. It's got a lot of momentum here. Like I said, you got to get through these 30s. I have my stop loss sitting at 65. My entry was from 73. We're just creating a lot of wicks off around that London low. Man, I'm so close to being done with this account too. If I hit my target, we should be done. If we push through the 30s, I'm going to take it down farther with my profit taking, because I'm kind of anticipating a bounce out of this area possible. So that's kind of what I'm being aware of. So here comes the 30, 30, 30. It's hitting, it's hitting, it's hitting. No, go. Oh, oh, here comes that 30. Damn it. I knew that we were going to run into resistance there. Don't bounce. I was hoping that we could push the 22s. I should have just taken my damn profit at the 30s. I got a little greedy. I was shooting for that Tokyo low at 22. If we can stay under 50, I feel like we get it. Where am I at as far as my account goes? All right, we're closing that. So we hit our profit target, which was 53,041. So there was no reason to hold that trade anymore for me. That would be probably my last eval, unless we switch over to our what do you want to call it? Switch over to our Padeus accounts. So that was the last of my evals. So now we have all of our evals pass. So I think that'll give us like 6 funded accounts to trade. Oh, perfect bounce here. A lot of times I've taken longs off of these levels. So this is why we were being iffy about this. These between the 20 and 30 here. We'll switch over to our Padeus accounts, and if we do find something, we at least have something we can trade. All right, these are Quantower. All right, let me get my ninja charts up so I can still use those if I need to. Most of my trades this morning were pretty much based off the Fibonacci in the 15 minutes. So basically, once we broke back above the broke back below the 15 minutes, I was really hoping that this was going to be the setup right here when we push back down, and we just had to wait and see if this was going to find support here. So that's what we were looking to first of all. But then we sold through the 15 minutes out the backside. This candle came back and retested the 15 minutes. So that was your retest of that first original 15 minutes. And this is where we first started basically shorting up here. Then we had another little flag here. It didn't look as pretty, but it still was a big, nice flag. Next target, if we lose the 200s, is going to be 145. 145 will be your next target down if you're still holding. Then maybe we can look for a bounce off the 145 area, because there's been a lot of support down there between the 140s and 130s. We have multiple wicks in that area. So There was still plenty being left on the table, but like I said, we already hit our profit target, so there was no reason for me to stay in that trade anymore past that 20 and 30 this morning. So we did pretty good on this eval, mainly just trading 2 or 3 micros. I think there's been a time or two I think we were up like 4 micros, but for most all, it's 2 micros and made $3,000 on this account within like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So what we can do now is wait and see if we get another little bear flag set up, and we may look for another entry here on these Padeas accounts. Either that, or we'll look and see if we do push down to that 29 area, and then maybe we can look for a long off of there. Now we just kind of have to sit here and be patient and wait. So if you missed that short, I wouldn't jump in short at the moment. I'd be patient and wait on another setup, because now jumping in right now is just jumping in. So like I said, this morning, this was the 15-minute opening range from 8 o'clock to 8:15. We pushed above it. I was actually looking for long, but this candle had to find support on top of the 15 minutes, which it didn't. So then it sold out the bottom. This was going to be my entry candle. So I was waiting. I pulled fib. So it pulled back between 50 and 60% of the candle, but all it did is pull back, retest that 15 minutes, then basically just sold off. Then I'm not sure what was going on with TradingView, kind of not TradingView, but my Ninja a while ago, it had a hiccup where I got stuck in a trade, so it cost me a little bit of money. So then we had to re-enter again, and so that second entry, we're at least able to make that profit back and enough to get over that threshold. I thought this was going to be a sexier looking, more bear flag than what it turned out to be, but eh. All right, let me bring down these levels and you can kind of see how I'm finding my levels. For anybody that's new here, which most of you guys already know, because, you know, anybody that shows up regularly knows that I use these as my levels to target. So how I got the 22 to 32 was from the London low and the Tokyo low. So you see all the resistance that we had in that area from those. So I wasn't sure if that's going to be the bounce spot. So I said, if we get below there, next target down's probably going to be this 61. It'll probably hit that 61, some resistance, and look like it just hit it. So you hit the 61, got a little bounce. Next target down is going to be 144. And that would be your New York PM low. From Friday. I wouldn't mind seeing us bounce out of this area, then basically push back up to take out this area. Because this is, that's what I was hoping for this morning when we were pushing out of that 15 minutes, that we would get to target these AM highs from Friday, and plus that gap fill in also from that same day. So this is what I use for targets, is when I enter my trades. So when I enter a trade, I know what target I'm looking for. I know where my stop loss was going to be based on Fibonacci. That's why you see me pulling Fibonacci on every single candle that I trade, because I don't usually like to have my stop loss more than what 50% of that previous candle is. 60 max. So if I feel like the 50 is going to hold, I'll push it to 60, but most of the time, I prefer to see the 50% of the candle hold. Look, bounced off that 60 level. Man, did we find support here and we just start running? Well, actually, no. We kind of need to see us back above those. Where Where's that at? This could just turn into a little chop fest sideways here. Another little retest of the London low, London high there, 205. Oh yeah, London low. This could be a retest back up to the 300s for us to retest that 21 EMA. I think if we can close above this 36. Not as good with the Fibonacci on Quantower here, so I've only used this a few times, so I'm not as fast as placing it, so that's kind of what I'm saying. Like I'm very slow when it comes to putting this fib down on the. I'm very slow when it comes to putting this fib down on these charts. Hmm. We're going to wait for it to run that 29 area, I think, guys. We'll see what happens at that 29 here before we look for an entry. I wanted to take it down there, but I hesitated and I just did not get it in it quick enough. So all right, that's the level we're looking for. Let me check that level one more time, because we could get a nice bounce out of that area there. No, it's 45. So 45. All right, we'll set our little fibs over here to the side. So these are my Padeas accounts. I don't have a lot of drawdown on these. I have to keep it very, very tight drawdown, because you only get about $500 in drawdown. Right now, this one account that we're going to be trading, we got 700 in drawdown, because these are static accounts. So 1 micro, 2 micro max whenever I trade these. So the target we're looking to get run is at 45. That would be your PM low. I like to see like a wick through there, like maybe down in the 30s, then get like a nice body back through those 45 levels. So we already passed our Bulanox account. So that was the one you guys were watching me trade when y'all, if you first showed up, was that Bulanox account. We already made the $3,000 to pass. So now we're just going to work on our Padeas accounts for the rest of the morning, or if we can find another type setup this morning. But right now we got to wait for that 45 to get ran. So either we long the 45 depending on what happens below it, or we short the 45. So there's two possible scenarios here that we can look for points around that level. And that would be your Friday low on the New York at that 144. So that's the level that we're waiting to get ran or hit. So I use the ICT kill zone and pivots for these levels. So you can see we already kind of had this move already. So I'm not sure if we'll get that setup that we wanted. I feel like it might have happened yesterday at opening. So this is what you're looking for. So this was the opening last night. Look, so we opened around 214. We pushed to that New York PM low last night at 5 o'clock. And then look, just up all night long. But I don't know if we'll get this the second time, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens at this level. But this is the setup that I would like to see, but I don't know if we'll get it twice. Don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. This is what I'm saying. If it doesn't hold, it could just go straight through it. Then you can kind of short off of the 45 here. So all right. Woo, it's trying to push through it. Now the low's at 118. That's the low right before lunch before we moved all the way back up here. We got 3 minutes left on this candle here. I mean, I guess you could have did one of those things if you're on lower time frames where you just take a nice little bounce here and look for 20 points. I've done that type of stuff off these levels before, but I'm not going to do it here. We still got two minutes and 50 seconds left on this candle, so still quite a bit left to see what's going to happen here. Then 118 would be your low from Friday morning. So that if we get through the 45s, is close to equal low, sitting at 117, 118. If we lose this level here. I didn't know if we'd get a push back up to the freaking 21 EMA that we've lost. I mean, man, you could have shorted that 21 this morning and still be in the short. I've been trying to get better at that too, finding targets underneath our EMAs, but all right, the time that we got left, I don't know how well you can see that on the stream, but it's right there in the corner. So we got less than 2 minutes. So we're still kind of holding up here at the 44, 45s. All right, so we just lost that 45. We still got a minute left on this next candle. God, got too close. That was the previous day low. God. Just be patient. Let's just wait and see what happens with this next 5-minute candle. Let's see if we can get an entry off of this candle here. Man, look at these rips off these levels here. Hit right on the nose there at that previous day low and just ripped up 40 points. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is these wicks. Like when it has like huge wicks on it, I prefer the wicks to stay small like this. So we just broke this. I'm hoping this next candle we get maybe retest this 21 EMA back up there at the 660s or 260s. So That's a big possibility here. I guess Bitcoin sold off a little bit, huh? Ooh. Almost. All right. Almost got my stream shut down. Oh, man. Oh, man. We lost the 45 again. We still got 2 minutes left on this candle, so we got a lot of time for either for us to push back up, or the sellers may stay in control. Then we'll just have to look for another entry here. I would prefer us to stay above here, find support here, then target the 21 EMA pullback. Because it's been a minute since we pushed up to the 21 EMA. Most time we always get a retest of the 21 EMA. So right now we're probably following the 9 EMA down. So we can look for a 21 EMA pullback on the long and use 45 as our line in the sand. But not like this. I mean, it'd have to be a clean looking candle for us to do it. And right now this is not a clean looking candle. I mean, looking at the previous price action, I mean, we may just the bears will stay in control, because we've been getting these big wick 5-minute candles. They've been pretty ugly looking, because I'm not a fan of these, but you know, everybody trades their own. I just know I'm not a fan of them, and I'm not even sure where we could go. I would have to, let's see. So 25.61. Man. 42 seconds left. Yeah, still dumping. All right, about to have a new candle. You would think that we would have popped back up here a little bit to the 100s. Did not get that pullback up there. Damn it. Woo, this might be the Santa crash and not the Santa rally we got here going on. I was looking for a retest of the 200s or the 100s up there, so that's why we didn't enter. Didn't really get quite the deeper pullback we were looking for. So we only got hit back to about the 92, and I would prefer to get us back to the 100. That would have been right at 20% of this total move. Oh, you were looking for the pullback to the hundreds? Yeah, I didn't. I just didn't want to jump in and it just turned into chop. But I mean, we could continue selling like crazy, but we just got to be patient, wait. I have no reason to be in a hurry to take a trade because we've already got good profit of our, our first couple trades this morning. So this here is just trying to build onto my Padeas accounts. Even if I can just get in and get 10, 20 point little trade. I mean, that's all I'm really looking for on these accounts because these are small accounts. That we're trading. $24. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I think I was looking over here to the left a while ago because I was like, man, where could we go? 24,600. Woo. Oh yeah, those are the highs from a lot over the last couple weeks. I can definitely see 25,000 here. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to find an entry here if we're going to continue down and look for the trying to see what we have here that we can trade off of. 60 was the lunchtime high from when was that? From Tuesday, November 25th. The Tokyo low from that same day, Wednesday, the 26th, was 111. Thank you guys for the follow and likes today. I guess pretty nice if you were able to stay in this short the whole time. We did not. We were just looking for a certain profit target. And since we already hit it, we had no reason to stay in this trade any farther because we hit our $3,000 mark. We hit the 53,000. So that'll give us 6 funded accounts to trade. So that's the good thing about trading the 5 minutes. It definitely helps you be a lot more patient. It does me. So it makes me wait for the prints of these 5-minute candles to kind of see what happens with price action. I wanted to see a little bit deeper pullback on this move, and you're not going to catch every move. I had this 40 marked out for some reason, but I don't remember what I had this marked off for because it's in red on my Ninja charts. It had to be something from in the past because I have it marked out in red. I just need a nice bounce off of there. Did we get an inside bar today and I just didn't take it? Let's see. No inside bar today. Let me make sure it's on these charts here. No, I don't have the inside bar on these charts. Let me find it. I know I have it. Nope, no inside bar this morning. Ooh, I don't know what I would like better here if we print the inside bar. And usually I'm not a fan of longing atop the inside bar if this is what this is going to turn into. But, man, I'm still anticipating that 21 EMA pullback before we make that bigger move down. Good morning, Roger P. Yeah, we're just been sitting here watching charts, man. We pretty much already taken our our bigger trade this morning. We only needed to make $200 to pass our account. So we made our $200 and now we've just been kind of sitting here. I'm going to see if we can find another little entry on my Padeas accounts, but we'll have to just wait and see. And like I said, we're looking for like 10 points and maybe a runner with these accounts because I only get $500 in drawdown. So the most I'm probably going to be willing to lose is probably like 50 to 60 bucks. All right, so let's pull fib on this total whole leg and see where, if we do get a retracement, where could we push back up to? We're looking for the 50% retracement of this whole leg, which is all the way back up to the 200 if we get the 50%. We got 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. You're trying to pass the eval much? How much more you got to make? Dude, I have pretty much made almost $3,000 on that eval just trading 2 to 3 micros. We've been just, and that's a 50K account. So we've been super focused on trading super non-risky at the moment. I was going to copy trade all my accounts this morning. We were going to trade like 3 funded accounts with this account, but I didn't like the way price action started out. And so I was going to be super cautious today because this is rollover week and non-farm payroll week. And so it can be super choppy, I just didn't want to get like chopped up. So once we enter a trade, we'll have a target and a stop loss. So you will always see where my targets and stop loss are at. I don't ever run a non-stop loss. I have a stop loss on all my trades. So a lot of times what my stop loss is based on the Fibonacci tracement. So most of the time, if this next candle pulls back and if it's less than 50% of this candle, we will try a long on this candle. But if it's over 50%, probably not. And I'll use that 50% as my stop loss. And we're on December contracts too. Unfortunately, I had to put the Fibonacci on my Ninja chart because I hate pulling these Fibonacci's on here. The 50% mark is sitting back at the 100s here. So I wouldn't even mind seeing like a 38% pullback. So maybe to the 10 level, or the 23 would even be better. That would be the 20. So that means we can have a super tight stop loss if it's there. Just got to be careful of the 30 level here. See if we get through it here. Because this is the low. So you kind of have to be careful here. Just make sure we get through those 30, 45s. 50% is right here. So let's see if that holds. We're at the 50%. If you start losing at 50%, we're probably going to be moving back down. So here comes the line in the sand here at the 90 level. So you really need to see it start bouncing right here. Woo. This is why a lot of times I always pull fib on my candles just to make sure that they're going to hold. This way it helps me stay out of trades from getting trapped. That was pretty much a 60% pullback on that candle. Well, right below the 60%. Oh no, I couldn't even get my stuff pulled. Now, if we don't get through the 30s here, I'm not really sure if we make it through here. Oh, shoot. Now, this is the eval only trade, guys. I don't recommend trading this on a funded account or a cash account. This is not even really a setup. This is just looking for a big pullback up to the 21 EMA here. I don't want to see us lose the 100s. That's going to suck if we lose the 100s, because a lot of times if you start losing those 100s, it's probably going back down here. So you really need to see those 100s hold up here. I got trapped here, guys. Now, if you're watching us, we're in here to just 2 micros. So just so you're aware, we're not over leveraging. We're usually risking like less than $100 per trade. Yeah, I'm not damn it. I'm probably going to get stopped out on this one, guys. We lost the 100 level. Son of a bitch. Let's see. Yep, we got stopped out on here. Birtle. I'm trying to see what contracts. Man, that's the first time we've had somewhat of a more than $100 loss in I don't know how long. I still like the longs here because, I mean, we're making another little bull flag here. What do we got? 3 minutes left on this candle. Two minutes left. And this could just be a straight idiot box here. What time we got left? 9:42. All right. Man, back at that 30 level and 40 level again. Well, I was in the long a minute ago, but I have usually a strict stop loss, so we got stop loss, then it pushed back up. Now that's on this trade right here. I did catch the bigger move today and pass my one account, and so we were trying to find another smaller trade here on our Padeas accounts, and so that's the one that we're down $100 on. Is Padeas accounts. The nasty girl had to stop me out. Did me dirty today. Well, at least on this trade, it did me dirty. Look at this dang thing, man. Son of a bee. Like I said, I still like to push up. I mean, I just felt like we were going back up to the 200s here to retest this 21 EMA. Got 20 seconds, so I don't know if I'll enter this a second time. Not even a pullback? Come on. Oh, did you stay in it? Man, I know. I didn't want to re-enter. I just didn't want to re-enter. We already took the loss, so I just didn't fucking re-enter this after them push back up the second point. Oh, goodness. So now all we got to do is just sit here and watch, man. Can't do anything about it. If you miss it, you miss it. Like to see some kind of pullback here. There's the 200s. So it's already at that one area that we wanted to target. That's that 212 up there at that 21 EMA. And we could anticipate a big sell-off here at the 21 if it hits that 21 and just dumps there. So that would be your 200. So a lot of times you'll get a pushback to the 75. %50 would be all the way back down there. I'm not sure if we get that 50% here. %23's right there. A lot of times you'll push back to the 75s, then it'll push back up. Nice. Yeah, this sucks that we didn't catch none of this trade. Nice if you're able to stay in this trade, but like I said, I just couldn't withstand that type of drawdown, or I didn't want to withstand that type of drawdown. So you did get the push up to the 21 EMA. Here, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Either we're going to find support and move all the way back down. We are creating our first inside bar at the moment, and we got 3 minutes left, so it's a lot of time left on the inside bar. The only thing I'm not a fan of the inside bar is it's right underneath that 21 EMA. Now, I would like the shorts a lot better if it stayed under the 21 here for this EMA. Maybe if we do try it, maybe it'll just be like 1 micro or something. So it has to stay inside this candle here. Darius, are you still in your long? Or were you in short a while ago when we were in the long? Man. Oh, you were holding the long from that 600, weren't you? I think I remember you saying that this morning. Is that what you had said this morning? You were holding that long from 600 up there. Yeah, that's right. You were holding the long from 600. Okay. Wow. Look at this rip off the freaking 21, pretty much, guys. Man, that was almost like a big freaking bull candle. So let's wait and see what happens here if we print a new candle. We're about to print a new candle here. See if we can get some of our losses back here. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the big wick here. And we're back at that one freaking level that's kind of what caused my little stop out a while ago, because we were at that 45 level or 40 level. And that was that one low that we had talked about. That was the PM low from Friday. So that 60 area would be kind of the line in the sand that we need to hold if the shorts are going to continue here. That's the 50% mark there. And this is just 2 micros, guys. Remember, we don't over leverage our accounts on these accounts. I have something going on with here. I'm not used to this where it trails down. Weird. I'm not sure how to turn that off. I was wondering why I got stopped out while it was weird, like it was following it. I don't know. I've never seen it do that before. Like I said, I'm super new to what do you want to call it? Quantower. So Quantower, not the most comfortable trading Quantower here. Like I said, if you're just joining us, we're just in this for 2 micros, guys. I repeat that just because we try not to over leverage our accounts. This way, if you do take losses, it's not like a huge loss. See how I see it's following me down like that? I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know how to turn that off. Okay. So we get our first target. We're just in this with the runner. So the runner will either be pretty much my break-even type trade. So basically, if it comes back and stops out, we really won't make anything off of it. We got 1 minute left. This may be our first inside bar. Usually we do take this trade on evals. So basically what you would do is you would take a longer short based on which way it breaks the candle. I kind of hope it does it. I got to figure out how to turn this like this following my stop loss because I'm not sure how the hell to turn that off because I don't like the fact that my stop loss moves with that. So may have an inside bar set up here, guys. It looks like my runner's about to get stopped out. I'm looking for my 60 is right here at the 60s. So that 60 is kind of my line in the sand. That's 50% of this previous leg. We just hit it. That was the first hit right there at the 58, whatever you just saw us hit and bounce. So that's my kind of my line in the sand. Probably above that, our runner gets stopped out. All right, about to have a new candle here. So that would be a long trigger. For anybody that's trading these inside bars, you really want to see a pullback. So what it is on my ninja charts, this is purple. I'll show you. I'm not sure if we get the winner today. Like I said, the market's been kind of weird today just because I knew it was going to be kind of weird just because it's rollover week. Rollover week is always a really tough couple days of trading. So this thing has won about 9 days in a row. So I feel like we're due for a loss here. Or, you know, I feel like we're just due for a loss. So what it is, your stop loss would go there. And that is almost a 40-point range there. I think if this area holds and we get back above that, you could take possibly the breakout on this. But I'm not sure if I'm going to take it today. Like I said, this thing is one. I know I took it almost every day last week, but this is also a little later in the morning because it's already 11 o'clock. Most of the time, you like to see it somewhere between that like 9:30 and 10:30. So it's still considered a validate trade until 23 gets ran. My only thing about it, something that I've been watching lately, if we're under the 21, you almost need to pick whatever way the trend goes. So if this gets stopped out, this will be the first losing trade, like I said, out of 9 or 10 days in a row. It was that one day that I'm talking about, it really wasn't a winner. So what it didn't do, it didn't pay the 1-for-1, because you're supposed to be a 1-for-1 when taking this. And today this thing is down at the 23 and at the 53. So you're looking at like a 30-point stop loss. I mean, I'll take it with anybody that wants to take it. I mean, this is just like I said, these are cheap evals if we do take it. These evals that we're trading, when I mean cheap, they're cheap. These are like $8 evals. Don't know if we'll get tagged in or not. We'll see what happens. So yeah, if you're looking for cheap accounts to trade, wait for Padeas to have their sell. And these are Padeas accounts. They're $8. But like I said, they're very, very small drawdowns. So if we get back below the 23, we'll just close this trade. So it looks like this is going to be a first failed day of the 5-minute inside bar. So I want to take that off. What are you guys risking on y'all's trades? Are you guys going in pretty heavy on your trades, or do y'all do like kind of what I do? Like I said, I start off with just either 1 or 2 micros most of the time. So I never start off heavy on my entries. They're always pretty small. I know some people go in heavy and just look for like 5 or 10 points. And I've done that in the past, where you go in with like 5 or 10 micros or mini or something, get a quick 10 points. And that's like $200. Ah, shoot. Sorry. I was trying to bring down that one chart. Yeah, so the inside bar would have been a fail today, guys. You can see it broke out the top, broke out the bottom, then it was a failed trade. I want to say this is the first day it's failed in, 2 weeks, but I don't know how much I'd count today. So this is why I said before we started trading today, you got to trade with caution for the next 2 days. And the reason why, if you're new to trading, this is rollover week. So anytime that we have contract rollovers, I always say the community is divided. You're not going to get the same price action. The price action is going to be completely different than what you're used to. The levels that you're watching is going to be off, because you have a bunch of people on next year's contracts and still a bunch of people on December contracts. And see, we're trading on December contracts. 3 to 4 micros for you. Nice. That's not too bad there either. 3 or 5. I mean, you can still lose money pretty quick. 3 to 5. I used to do 5 micros mostly on all fundeds. I would look for like that first 10 points and take off like 3 or 4 of the micros, get like a quick $80 and leave the runner. still cannot figure out why on my Padeas charts this thing's like following me up, because I don't have chase price action on where it's supposed to be chasing my price action. I know there's a trailing drawdown, like a trail where it trails your stop loss, but I'm not sure how I got it turned on my charts, because I don't use that on whatchamacallit, Quantower. And I'm also not very good at, if you watch me trade on Quantower, I do struggle. And I usually let people know that because I'm still fairly new to Quantower. And so I'm not as fast as I am whenever I'm trading my ninja charts. So I struggle with moving. And this is the Quantower charts I'm talking about. So like I said, I don't usually do that well on these charts because I don't use them a lot. So, you know, it's just like starting anything new. So we did take a loss on our Padeas accounts a while ago. It really wasn't a setup, even though it did pay 100 points and we had to sit there and watch it. But that's just part of it. The one thing that we were trying to pass today was this one Bulenox account. So we did clear the 53,000. And that was that first trade that we took this morning. And so then that's when we decided to switch over to our Padeas accounts to see if we can add. I was able to get a little bit of it back a while ago, but it's almost a break even. So if we can find at least one more winning trade, hopefully it'll get us back in the green. What size of accounts are you using, Anthony? Are you just using 50Ks? Maybe we can get above this 21 EMA here, get above the VWAP and get the 21 to kind of curve back around. Then maybe we can get a long entry on these evals here or on our Padeas accounts. There's the 21. This would probably be my line in the sand on the pullback. Below 65, this trade's probably no more valid for the move back up. And that's the 60% of the candle here. So we're green on our one accounts, but we're red on our Padeas accounts. I like to try to find man, I feel like we get back above these 100s or these 90 levels that we could get a push. Man, we just lost it. Never mind. We just lost the 60%. A lot of times, if you lose the 60% of the previous candle, you're going to have somewhat of a decent pullback. So this is why a lot of times, once you get over that 60%, I'm always very hesitant about even looking at this anymore. Wow, that was almost a 50-point candle, guys. That's just insane at the moment. Wow. Like I said, price action's off a little bit. So if you're trading and your levels or whatever you're trading is not working out today, it is rollover week. This is normal, just super tough price action for anybody that's new to trading. A lot of times I wouldn't even attempt to trade my funded accounts on rollover week because rollover week's usually fairly tough. And we have non-farm payroll tomorrow also. So Anthony, how's your day been so far? Are you at least in the green or small red or anything? Man, Darius, I want to say the one that says I'm cooked, he's been long. I guess he's been holding a trade since Friday. He's been long since 600s. I didn't even know you could hold trades over the week. I guess if it's in your real money account, I guess you can hold trades. But I guess with certain prop firms, they don't allow you to trade. I know there's some that maybe allow you to trade, but I don't know which ones they are. Man, this thing's just wrecking people's days. Holy crap. These are some pretty big swings here, guys. Some big swings here. I mean, you're looking at 40 and 50-point candle swings on the 5 minutes. I mean, that's pretty massive. This is why it's important to wait for the pullback on your Fibonacci. This way, you can almost get an idea if you're just going to get left behind, because you don't want to jump in on this candle at the top here, because what happens if you jump in here, you'll get like some crazy pullback where you're sent through like 20 points of drawdown. I mean, if you're still long bias, I'd wait for this next five. Unfortunately, you got to wait for 5 more minutes and wait for this candle to print. Maybe this will print us above the 21 EMA, kind of retest it, and maybe you can find a long off that 21 EMA here. The VWAP, the 30 level, you can look for maybe a pop off that 30 level up there, because that's where the VWAP is. So for anybody that trades that type of, stuff. I'm not sure what most of you guys trade here. I'm still kind of looking for another entry for my Padeas accounts. If I can just get like a quick 10-point move for like $40, that'll almost pretty much get us back in the green from that loss earlier. We took one small little green win a while ago on the Padeas, but we're still in the red, so we still need one more little win. Thank you, DM. Have a good evening. Have a safe evening if you're still trading this evening. I got to head off myself too in about 10 or 15 minutes. We're just trying to find one more little long here if we can find something for our Padeas accounts to get us back in the green here. All right, we just hit the VWAP. So I'm hoping this next candle, we got a minute left on this next 5-minute candle. I hope we just get like maybe a 20% pullback, and this way we can have somewhat of a small stop loss. Or even a retest of the 21 EMA down here, and that would be back to the 200s, and that would be pretty normal there, and that way you can get a trade as close as possible down there around the 200 or off your 21 sitting at the 200 there. Kind of using my ninja charts because, like I said, I struggle with the Quantower charts. For anybody here that uses Quantower, I'm not that fast when it comes to trading my Quantower charts. Like right now, I have some kind of trailing drawdown on, and I don't even know how to turn it off. All right, 30 seconds left on this candle. Ooh, this thing's looking pretty bullish. All right, new candle. Come on, pull back some. Damn. Oh, I don't want to see it go straight up. I would love to see it pull back into like the 20s or something here. I don't know if it's because there's a wick sitting there at 37. That wick may be holding it up at 37. Like I said, I wouldn't even mind seeing a pullback all the way down to the 200s. So you can get a better entry. The 29 is the VWAP there. Like I said, we're kind of looking for a long here if possible. We're just kind of waiting to see what this candle is going to do here. It would be nice even if this candle stays small and the next candle was like a nice runner, like a nice big candle. A lot of times you'll get that. You'll get that nice little small candle here right after a big candle move up, because this was almost 100 points or 90 points from what the 50 all the way to the 40. So this is a 90.5 minute candle. You almost want to see a pullback to your 21 EMA down at the 200s. Man, it's like we're stuck. Come on. Didn't get the pullback we wanted to see here. Eh. All right, new 5-minute candle. Oh, that's going to suck if this rips, because we're just going to end up missing the whole trade if it rips up here from here. We wanted to see it come back down towards the 21 EMA and find support here, because you'd almost need to have that 21 as your support. And that's like a 50-point freaking candle. And that's just way too much to kind of, that's just way much to risk. That'd be like risking $100 even with one micro. Yeah, it looks like we're going to mess this next entry, because your entry would have been here at the top of this candle. But we just did not get the deep enough pullback that we wanted to see. I just didn't know if this candle needed to come back and retest the 20. If you want to play it safe, just wait for your 21 to get back above the VWAP here. Then you might get a bigger move to the upside that where you can follow it down. So it'll be kind of like how everything got basically printed above the VWAP here, and it brought the 21 with it. So you kind of anticipate a bigger move here to the upside. I just don't know what kind of volume we're going to have, being 11:30 leading into the lunch hour, being rollover week, and plus having non-farm payroll tomorrow. The ES popping the 42. Let's see. I didn't look at the ES in time. It did pop the 42. I wasn't watching it. Oh, never mind. So I guess if the ES can pop the 42 here. So I guess a support level here at 42 on the ES. Oh, there's the little ES pop there, or the trying to get above the 42. For anybody that follows the ES here, I don't know if there's any ES traders here. What time is it, man? All right, the ES is, we got 1 minute left on this, whatever. This is the 1 minute chart, so we're just waiting to see what happens when this next candle prints, to see if we print above the 42 here. And these would be Manzini levels for anybody that follows Adam Manzini with the ES. He pretty much just trades strictly the ES, and all his stuff is level base. See, we're still. How's everybody's trading going today? Was most of you guys able to at least find like small little winners here and there? I understand everybody trades different. Everybody's trading different material. So didn't know how everybody else's stuff is going. I didn't know if anybody was holding any kind of like long positions. I mean, I know Darius is holding one, but I didn't know if any of you other guys are like holding positions for a long period of times. Or do y'all do an in and out type trading, or is it just swing trading? Like, you know, most of my trades usually aren't very long. So I know everybody trades different. So just out of curiosity. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find another trade before we have to get off the charts here, guys, because this is kind of what time I need to get off the charts here. So it looks like we're just going to be in the red like 40 bucks on my Padeas accounts for the day. And for the very first trade, this was really the only trade that I felt like comfortable. I feel like it's going to work today. That was that one we took early this morning. So we made 200 bucks on that, but that's all we needed to make to pass it. We had to get to $53,000, and so we got to $53,000.41. Wow, we lost. Man, we just lost that 21 EMA over here on the ES. I don't know what it looks like on the 5-minute charts, because anything's... I'd rather watch the 5-minute charts. So let's see if we can print back below this. We got 2 minutes left here. So this is either going to be a retest of the 21 EMA for a push back up, or if we can get back under the 21, then maybe this will just be a nicer continuous move back to the downside. Got a minute, 50 seconds left, and we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be the retest, possibly for the pop back up. That's what I would prefer to see. I prefer the longs over shorts at the moment. Whew. Minute and a half left. We couldn't get back above those 42s, and that was Manzini's line in the sand level here. See what happens here. You would think that we would want to pop the 96s because you got like 5. So usually whenever you got this many candles that we're running into, it's hard to believe that we're going to probably sell through this. But usually on normal days, like when the market's normal, usually you get support here. But like I said, today's market price action is not normal. And that's because it's rollover. Rollover week, the price action never, it just is not, it's different. Because the market is split. So you got half the people on 26 contracts and half the people on 25 contracts. Man, we're building up a really nice trend line break here. Break below this trend line. Yeah, we broke below it. Retesting the trend line. I did take this short on my Prodeus accounts, but I had it drawn out. But like I said, I have to watch ninja charts because I struggle with these charts. That's why we had that line drawn out there. So that's a nice 5-minute trend line level here. So we had the 5-minute trend line drew out. We had the 23% pullback on the fib. That was this level here. Then once I saw red on the candle, we grabbed this short on this 5-minute breakout. I'm not sure if we get back to the bottom. It's almost like, man, do we target the bottom here? I don't know if we get to the bottom or if we get, oh, man, that's a long ways down too. I didn't realize how far that was down. I mean, that's 150 points. So if you notice, I had my mouse sitting on my sell button, but I was sitting here staring at my ninja chart that says we're taking it. Like I said, I do horrible with these charts. I don't know what it is. I just feel so uncomfortable trading these. I'm just not, I just feel very slow. Oh, yeah, I did figure out what was going on with that stop loss. I had selected a trailing stop loss there for anybody that's ever selected that. I don't know if we'll be able to last. Like I said, we have to get off. We have to get off the stream in a minute. I want to start taking profit if we can't get through the 19s here. Because I'm back in the green. But man, if this thing comes back and stops me out, it's pretty much going to take most of our profit away. What do we got? All right, we're going to wait till this next candle prints and see. It only does like a small pullback. That's what we're going to anticipate. If we can use the next 5-minute candle as our stop loss, unless it just pulls all the way back to stops us out. See, I don't like that big wick. You only got 30 seconds left. And see, I'm not a big fan whenever you see these big wicks like this on the 5 minutes. It just means the buyers are taking control. Let's see. And see, the ES never did pop that 42. Remember I said if the ES did not pop 42? So look, we had 42 marked out. And once we lost that 42, that's when we decided that we were going to take a short once I knew that 42 was going to hold. But if we got back above the 42, we were going to consider the long. But like I said, the 42 did not hold. Damn it. Let's see. Let me pull a fib on this candle. So really you need the 70 to hold up here. All right, so 70 is the 50% mark. Oh no, that looks so, shoot. Come on, hold up 70. Come on, hold up. That was okay. We might be able to get it. The 50% saved us. Come on, keep pushing down. So I use, like I said, I use Fibonacci on all my candles because most of the time, if you break back above 50 and 60% of the previous candle, more likely we're probably moving back up. If the 50% holds, that's usually a good sign because then you know that you're going to probably get a little bit more to the downside. All right, we're just going to rest it at the top of this candle is where our stop loss is going to be. And that's just locking in 10 points. So we're hoping we can get these lows down here without any kind of major pullback. Man, I could almost cut this off right now and we're back $120 in the green after being red. I don't know if I'm going to be able to outlast this move because I have to be somewhere in a little bit, guys. This right here is the only thing I was worried about. These 17 and 18s. I want to say that 30. That was the low or something, the London low or something right there. So there's a lot going on in this area. So it took us a lot to get through this area this morning. So it could be the same scenario where we just don't make it back through these levels. I only got 15 minutes left that we can watch this trade. If not, I may just have to leave it on and whatever happens whenever I leave. Let me shut down my thing here.